Australian side, realising the cameras sending their image around the world. This has become one of the cultural features of the Rugby League World Cup. We'll now be able to take you into the prayer huddle with the Fijian team. And Australia will pay their respect from the 40-metre line, their side of the field. Ioka Noku Masu of the Fijian players. Kick-off not far away to the second semi. So let's just have a look at these sides again. Australia with Inglis at the back. So much try-scoring potential. Morris, Tate, Hayne, Boyd, Thurston, Cronk, Queensland State of Origin halves pairing. Scott, Smith, Tamo, Bird, Thaiday, Gallen. Cherry Evans again has his spot on the bench. Josh Papali, his first time at this tournament playing for Australia. Fafita and Corey Parker, one of the more experienced hands. And the Fijian side, certainly no problem with experience across that back line. The Nagama brothers, Korobeti, Wanga, Uate have all played first grade. Millard, Groom, in the forward Sims, Storis, Sivanasiva, Tarek Sims, Bakuya, Vinikethi, and Coruscant, Regitha, Evans, and Wangavatu, Semi Randra Wangivatu off the bench for Fiji. Bit of first grade experience this year at Parramatta. Richard Silverwood has charge for this one. And with New Zealand now winning, he becomes the favourite to referee the final next week at Old Trafford. Takes Henry Perinara. Ben Cummins out of the equation. Standing by for kickoff. And my estimation, his crowd has probably dropped by 5 to 10,000, but it's still very big on a fine afternoon here at Wembley. (25-4) local time. On a Saturday afternoon, the winner here books a spot at Old Trafford.
Okay.
Let us start the second semi-final.
Stay on. Okay.
The tournament favourites, the Kangaroos, they want to have a date with the Kiwis. Good take off the kick-off. And quite rightly, Sivanasiva has the first run of the semi-final.
That's one. Move!
37.
Square boys,
they lose today. He plays his last match of Rugby League. Ashton Sims with the second hit up.
All the way home.
That's where the bulk of their experience is in the forward pack. Groom pushes them right side. Bakuya.
That's three. Move!
Play that edge for them.
Ball, wait!
Cronulla Shark in the NRL is off to the Warriors next year. And now Sivanasiva a second touch in the first set. Their completion rate has been very good throughout this tournament. And Millard is the first kicker of the day, putting it down towards the wing of Morris, who, as you know, is fresh from a 4-try effort last week against the Americans, and 8 tries scored between right centre and right winger, Jared Hayne and Brett Morris.
Release! Wait, boys, wait!
Joined in commentary for this semi-final by former New Zealand international Daryl Halligan, current Scotland international Andrew Henderson. You'll hear their comments throughout the match. And Gallen with a hit up. He'll get through plenty. Sims was there in defence with Sivanasiva. 5 metres inside the Fiji half, and a Fiji cheetah at Wembley early.
Last one.
So the
Release.
crowd let
Back now.
the
Go.
Australian fans know here who is the home side of sorts. Kick comes from Cronk back towards the posts,
That's one.
and Nagama
Move,
comes up with the
boys.
first catch.
So touches of the ball, see Fiji work it off their own line. And this here is Korobeta. If you have a look at Korobeta, he'll play on the left wing. And also Uata, who'll play on the right wing. Or they think they missed a T today, such as a haircut. It's a bit like the A-team, BA Barrackers.
Square
Absolutely.
hold.
You pointed
Go,
out before, Vossi, that you spoke about the Fijians' completion rates being high. Well, they're going to have to compete to compete, that's for sure. But they're definitely have the chance to run and play a bit of football and express themselves today if they're going to cross the whitewash.
Played by Vinakethe, and now another run for Sims. His contribution, Sims and Sivanasiva, their contribution has been enormous for Fiji as leadership role. I know Sivanasiva's captain, but Sims has been very much a forward leader as well. Inglis gets the ball on the bounce. How they would love to have a Greg Inglis in their ranks. They had Jared Hayne back at the 08 World Cup, did Fiji. They had Lottie Takiri as captain at the World Cup in 2000. I still remember the match there where they played up at Gateshead, and Australia put 60 on Fiji. You could have named Lottie Takiri as man of the match. It was an extraordinary performance by Lottie. He was very much a young man back then, but he did absolutely everything for his team that day, or that night at Gateshead. Tack with a run. 35 away, Billy Slater hoping the Kangaroos get through safely. He's a chance for the final. Scott, good run. I think it may be Storr has been left behind here for Fiji. The little hooker, he's injured. Thurston with a little kick. He may get the bounce. Thurston, he's got it in goal, but it's covered up by one half of the Mr. T's. Uate with the ball.
Lovely little work from Jonathan Thurston, and our penalty will help Fiji out of their own end. They're yet to have a play the ball in the Australian half. 2 sets of 6 so far, seen them get to their kick and not have any yards, and Thurston sees an opportunity for himself. Good work from Uate. Went down, put his body on the line and got himself another 5 out. Worked for a penalty.
And commitment shown in goal line defence, and a bit of scramble, and then a penalty goes their way.
Oh, boys, wait.
And a restart will come from the 30-metre line. I think we're all still coming down off what was an amazing first semi-final as we settle into this one.
Hold. Go. Come on, Mike.
The temperature's even really dropped here, Vossi, as well. It's clear overhead, but particularly cold.
Move. Oh, Paul. Hold.
20-5 local time as Sonny Bill Williams, or rather 20-4 local time.
Move.
As now Fiji get inside the Australian half for the first time. Storr has recovered from that earlier knock. And Ashton Sims with another run. No Corbin Sims again today, serving out the second match of a 2-game ban from their clash with England. And they led England for a big stage of the first half. In fact, they scored the first try. Here's Kevin Nagama. Dropped there by Boyd on the intercept. Should be knock on against the Kangaroos. Well, I thought it was. I thought Boyd got first touch in there.
You're right, but I think he has given the head and feet to Fiji, Vossi, I think.
I would have so loved for Kevin Nagama to be able to catch and pass this. Pass to his brother Wes. Would have seen a 2-on-1 with Boyd, the only defender for Australia.
Boyd had to close it, didn't he? He had no choice. He had to close the play there. Made the right decision, but unfortunately it's come off him and been deemed to been played out. So the Fijians will have a fantastic opportunity now. 30 metres out from the Australian line, Vossi.
Well, gee, that's an untidy scrum, but what the heck? Just play on. Ashton Sims was on one knee and out of the scrum, and we just said play on. We'll argue about that another day. As here is Bakuya for Fiji. Against England, they come out with the first try. It was Aloni Vinakethe who got over. Let's see if they can do the same here. Groom sends him to the left side. And Miller, oh, they've found an obstruction play. Miller just, he thought, how good's this?
It's just open. It was like Moses parting the Red Sea, wasn't it? It just opened for him and he thought he was away.
Well, Vinakethe, have a look at him. Totally takes Gallen out of play, makes contact with him, and he knows that he shakes that big mop he's got on top of his head. And I know I've done wrong here.
Well, he's not here for a haircut, but if he was, probably he probably
takes some
do some work on. Yeah, it's hard to hide, isn't it, when he's the player that causes the obstruction, Vinakethe. And now Tamo with the ball. Oh, they come over the top. Ashton Sims says Tamo. I can just see your head poking out like a big giraffe. I'll have a crack at it. As now Thaiday with the ball gets inside the Fiji half. And Millard there, watch this again. Tamo, there's already 3, has one crack. Then he has another go, trying to grab him around the head. And now Scott to centre field. Gallen, nice fend with the right hand. And hanging on well on the tackle, Bakuya there. And they get physical over the top. There's Nguama, and Groom has a nice little facial, I think, there on Gallen. Left Bird onto Inglis, has the fend away from Vunakethe. Uate is able to finish off the tackle. What a fend it is from Greg Inglis. As Thurston switches short side, nice exchange of passes. Boyd and Tate 20 metres out. Now Tate has got a bit of stepping. 10 from the line, dragged down by Tarek Sims. Chance on the last tackle for the Kangaroos. Cronk kicks across, looking for Morris, and a good take. In the end, Korobetti just decided to offload it. Bit of Fijian flamboyance in goal. Interesting, Morris decided not to jump, and Korobetti didn't have to jump either.
Last play option spot on. The ball just sort of drifting towards the in-goal area, so he just catches and passes. I love the way Inglis comes off a late run in around the back on that arcing run to set it up on the left-hand side before they stretch the ball back to the right. But he's so gifted and just seems to glide around the arc of that back block play.
Stay behind, good start, boys.
20-18, the first semi-final. New Zealand over England. Sean Johnson converted try, 20 seconds away from full time. Conversion taken after the end of 80 minutes as that line drop out fielded by Thurston. Field position with the Kangaroos, and it is Scott. Got a North Queensland front row for Australia with Scott and Tamo there. North Queensland Cowboys representatives Gallen, robust as always, taken to ground by Sivanasiva. They were roommates the first time Gallen played in a test match. Thurston the dummy. You talk about the famous Inglis fend. The Thurston dummy is just as famous. And he gets a try here. Moses again, part of the seas.
A good run it was, up the middle. Petro Sivanasiva, the tackler. And then with so many options on the outside, have a look at Aaron Groom there, stop in defence. He didn't continue to come forward and take some space off Jonathan Thurston. And he said, if you're not going to come right up to me, well, I'm going to come to you and give you a palm in the face. Don't worry about what's happening outside me, mate. I'm the threat because I'm carrying the football, the show and the go. And it's all too easy, really. Poor D on Fiji part.
No, absolutely. I think the number 12 there, Bakua, he just sort of bit in there on the lead line. He probably didn't need to because I think the inside man could have got to him, and he probably should have pushed through and took Thurston. But he actually turns his hips in, bites on that lead line, puts a bit of pressure on Groom. He should have reacted a bit quicker, as you said, Darryl, to close the play down. He stays out in his man and probably doesn't get off his line hard enough. And Thurston has an easy stroll there to get over and score the 4-pointer. Great start from the Aussies.
Bad sign for Fiji, the fact that this man scores that first try. The semi-final 2008. Thurston, hat-trick versus Fiji. Added 6 goals for a 24-point tally. And here he is with first try. But Aaron Groom, there's plenty of fallen for the Thurston dummy in his illustrious career as he converts the try. And a 6-0 scoreline. Last week against the Tomahawks, he landed only 3 from 8 in the first half. JT had a very off day. 4 from 4 second half. And there he is again, getting the first try here. So 6-0, Australia, through the first 10 minutes of play. There's the lads having a good day down in yellow behind the goalpost. It was quite appropriate that Thurston scores his try in the one portion of Wembley where they are all dressed in yellow. Couldn't have scripted that any better, could you? And restart of play. And Tamo will bring it back. Look, no one's tipping Fiji to win, but I think you've seen enough in the first 10 that there's going to be no shortage of effort from them. And they will just hope that they get an even share of possession. Scott taken down by Vunakethe and Stora. Now Smith to Thurston on the edge with Bird. And Nagama forced in there. Nagama actually captain EG 2008, but has no problem at all at letting Petro lead them in 2013. In fact, he's honoured to have Petro as the man leading them out of the tunnel. Inglis to play it on halfway. A colossal figure he is standing there. Then Gallen on the Edge of the ruck, just finding a bit of an opening there. Sivanasiva finished, and Gallen almost lost it. Now Smith, Thurston playing right up to the line. Goes high, pressure on Kevin Nagama. He's been great in the tournament. The ball bounces freely into the arms of Bird. He's over. But Fiji say that Nagama was taken out. And Ben Thaler, our video referee, will be the next voice you will hear. Bird is celebrating a try. The Australian fans not sure, but Kevin Nagama is saying, well, who hit me, sir? Who hit me?
Okay, so we're looking at the start to make sure all the players are on side. So freeze it on the foot, keep it jogging on, and there we're all on. I'm happy with that. Now we're looking for the challenge to see if there's a fair challenge and make sure that nobody's taken out the ball. We really need to get in tight on that one to have a look. Now they're all looking for the ball at that point. Now, does the Australian player, can we have a tight view from the side? The Australian player, does he take out and put his hands, taking the Fiji man out with the ball? There is some contact there. I just want to slow look on that one, please. Having a look to see if the Australian three
into Uate,
takes
into
out the Fijian player. They're looking at the ball at that point. Now that's fine. Now there is contact there. There is too much contact, in my opinion, and therefore it's no try, and it's a penalty to Fiji.
Too much contact, in my opinion. The decision of Ben Thaler, which will be confirmed on the board, and Greg Bird is about to be denied a try.
Well, no one definitely had a read on this football when it was coming down, did it? They were all just watching. Three sets of eyes all looking up at it. Two Fijian and Brent Tate as well. And Tate's deemed to be taking a player out, which was Uate. So therefore, no try.
I think Vossi summed it up pretty well. Domino effect there, you know. I think it was Tate. They all had their eyes on the ball. Tate runs into Uate, he runs into Nagama. They all just kind of squashed each other, and neither one had a fair play of the ball there. So I think it was the right call, though, from Ben Thaler.
Sivanasiva takes another run and counted back there. 45 test matches for Australia, 33 origins, 309 NRL games.
Wow.
And what a day to come to Wembley for him at 37 years of age.
I'd love to see them shift the football here, Fiji. They've worked 3 or 4 times out of their own end. This is a better run. Now with a quick play the ball, let's play some football even in our own end.
Storer, they keep it tight though. And Ashton Sims, risky offload, almost intercepted. Now it is taken by Scott. The big front rower gets to the loose ball. That is commitment from the Australian prop. And costly for Fiji to give the Aussies the ball inside their own half. It was Ashton Sims with the ball at first attempt. I thought Thurston was going to get intercept. Then the second pushed offload from Nagama led to the turnover. Now Gallen has lost it. Good tackle, and Fiji have the ball.
Yeah, good tackle, Pakuya and Storer. Good yards here now as well. Isawanga comes into the action.
Come now, boys. Hold.
You sometimes talk about wingers being extra men. It's like Fiji have a back line where they could play 4 blokes. It's a 10-man forward pack.
Absolutely.
Because all their wingers and centres can run hard, like props and second rowers.
It's a fantastic strength for the Fijian side, you know, and again, it plays like Uate and even the other Guamba. Yeah, they just get you on the front foot, and it just allows the talisman of Sivanasiva and Sims to continue to get that go forward. But you're right, Rossi, you know, they're fantastic athletes, the Fijians.
And on the ball.
So Silverwood finds a penalty, and Fiji have a big chance here. 6-0 down through 13 minutes. But a big touch finder has them inside the Kangaroos 20. The crowd want to warm themselves with a bit of a Fiji chant again. And Sivanasiva is crunched by Bird and Tamo and loses the ball.
Wait, boys, wait.
Kangaroos get it on tackle number 1. And want to stretch it. Out it comes. Haynes got the ball with that hop and a skip and was almost away. But Wanga was able to put him down. Good battle there in the centres. Fireday will stretch out over halfway for Australia. They've got Papali, Fafita, Parker all to come off the bench with Cherry Evans, the Kangaroos. Good defence, centre of the field, Vunakethe and Sims on Gallen. And still he's a handful to get the ground, Paul Gallen. 35 from the line. Kangaroos in search of their second try. Off goes the captain. Vunakethe's been left behind this time for Fiji. They're 1 man down in their line at the moment. 20 out, from the goal line of Fiji. Australia have had success on the left. Bird away to Inglis. Here goes GI, and it comes for Boyd. Boyd will score for the Kangaroos. They were out on their feet in that set, the Fijians.
Tackle 4. Check how the ball comes out. Is there a knock on?
Referee Silverwood just wants to check how the ball came out.
Okay, we're looking to see if the ball is knocked out by Fiji. My initial reaction is that the ball is passed backwards. I can't see if there's a knock-on at that point. Where does the ball come out? I need a side-on view of that one. See how this ball comes out. We do have Fijian hands on the ball at that point. Can't clearly see that. Now is that lost, and does it go backwards? From that angle it probably does, because the man stood behind him. He's not in front of him, so we're looking like this could be play on. The hands is going backwards. It then touches the Fijian man's hands, so it's gone backwards off Australia and then touches the Fijian 7. Can we just have a clear view? Yep.
I think
he's still there, he's moving forward. At that point, he's behind.
He's talked us through well, Ben Thaler.
I'm happy that that's okay. We go to the grounding, please.
2 or 3 replays ago, so let's lock it in and try to Darius Boyd.
We go to the grounding.
Who rushes around to score, the one-handed put down. It'll be 10-0 to the Kangaroos, but if you want correct weight, we'll just see the big screen. And Australia have their second forfeiter of the second semi-final.
So the work of Greg Inglis in the arcing run round the back. Well, this time he actually overcooks it. And then he slows down and faces to play the ball. You have a look at Greg out the back. He's looking, waiting for it to come. Then he overruns it. Greg Bird just tries to get that right arm free to squeeze the pass out. And when GI catches the ball, he's actually facing the opposite way. Turns and spins. Noseboards out to the side. And gets a little bit of an anticlimax, really, because everyone thought the play had stopped. But play on's the call. And Boyd, he won't get an easier one. Just flirts with the in-goal area, brings it round another 3 or 4 metres to make the kick easier for Jonathan Thurston for his 15th, I should say 12th try and his 15th test.
Yeah, fantastic play there from the Australian side. And again, it came from the sim-receiver knock-on early when they had great field position, and the ability to shift the point of attack from left to right very quickly and exploit the right flank of the Fijians. They got themselves on the front foot, got the roll, and then finished off the try well there.
Yeah, and this is the contrast to their completion rate earlier in the tournament. They're down to 50% today. 4 of 8 sets completed, Fiji, and most recent error by the captain, and they're on the attack. And that's going to hurt against any side, let alone Australia. So Thurston for 2 from 2. He's taken it back a good 23 or 24 metres, unsuccessful. 10-0 lead to the Aussies, whose completion rate is 86%. And Boyd's the try scorer, who as a young man, as a teenager, as an 18-year-old, made his debut with Brisbane. That was way back in 2006, and by the end of the year was a grand final winner.
Certainly do have the luxury, don't they, when they've got someone like Greg Bird on the edge, playing as a back rower. He also played lock, played a little bit of 5'8" as well on one side. Gallen, who can play variable positions as well, but they're a body shape that are hard to contain.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Restart from Wes Nagama. And Tamo's the man to bring it back, and Sims was waiting. In fact, brothers Sims with Ashton and Tarek there. Now Thaiday. Oh, aggressive, and the ball was stripped, they say. The peel by James Storer, he says no way. And Richard Silverwood, in fact, from Millard, and Richard Silverwood says yes way.
Look at that beautiful snaking run from Thaiday. He never runs straight at a player and has the ability to angle one way and arc himself back in between players. Highlighted there in that example.
Mind you, you have a look at that head-on replay. Geez, you hate the stripping rule, don't you? Just get rid of it. I mean, he's got a right hang on to the ball there, Sam Thaiday. Anyway, Australia in possession. 30 metres away from the Fijian line. And then, oh, Matt Scott! Ashton Sims has missed that tube right there.
A swing and a miss.
He was just a fraction late as Thurston goes with Cronk. They attack the centre. Inglis has lost it. And scooped up and play on, says Silverwood.
Hold it out.
in quite dramatic fashion. He's got both arms swinging around like he's a policeman down at the Arc de Triomphe. They're 10 away from the line. Cameron Smith, Gallen run around. Smith left side. Thurston overlap there. Tate. Uarte did well, read it well, and made the tackle with Dagama. 5 from the line. Smith away to Cronk. Now they work the right side. Straightening up as Gallen. He's offloaded. Great head. Oh, what's that from Tamo? Was that the Tamo goose step?
The hurdle.
On the line.
Weird.
Wait,
Tamo. Smith 5 away to Matt Scott. The 2 front rowers yet to score a try at this World Cup. Scott and Tamo both have gone close in this set. Smith, Aussies up, 10-0. Thurston across, has got the defence guessing. The dummy again, they don't fall for it this time. Held by Bakuya. Tate a dummy half this time. Cronk is going to kick across for Morris. Here comes Morris, here comes Coloberti, it's down. It's in the hands of Hayne. Still the last tackle, what a ball, Hayne. To Cooper, Cronk to score. I think we called that Dean Fare's corner where he's thrown the pass. But Hayne's work there was pretty special as well. 14-0.
Fantastic try, Cooper Cronk, and that's just weight of possession there, finally taking its toll on the Fijians. I mean, we saw it there. Now, it looks like it was almost stripped. We thought the Fijians were going to be able to scramble and redeem the ball, but it was 6 to go. But off the back of this, ball goes out the back to Cronk. He puts the crossfield kick in. Fantastic jump from McGrath, but he knocks it down. Jared Hayne looks like he's going to go into touch, and somehow around the back door throws it back in with some pace and power straight into the arms of the waiting Cooper Cronk, who timed his run to perfection, came onto the line really well and finished it off.
When you consider that Cooper Cronk, have a look at the work once he's put the kick in to continue to run towards where he has kicked it, realising that something may happen. And then a real speculator from Jared Hayne. He didn't actually know. I don't think the ball was for Cooper Cronk, but Cooper Cronk runs right in front of one of the other Australian players and just somewhat runs onto the football. So good reward. Chased his kick, worked towards the corner, knew something was going to happen in the contest. Comes up with a try.
So he gets a Wembley moment, Cooper Cronk, and Thurston lands the conversion for a 16-0 lead through the first quarter of this one. The second semi-final, New Zealand already through there, on course for a repeat of the 2008 and 2000 designers.
I thought Fiji had actually defended the set of 6 really, really well, and it was just the extra 2 or 3 tackles provided by the rake, courtesy of the GI up through the middle, to give Australia too much football.
4 tries for the World Cup now for Cooper Cronk. And they go the shorter kick-off, and the bounce in the end was nice there for Thaiday. Could have gone left all right, but stayed on the direct passage to him.
Wait, boys, wait.
So Australia with it, and first half possession. That's an alarming stat. You know, you put England, you put New Zealand against Australia with those sorts of stats, and they're not going to be able to keep pace. Here's Thurston trying to skirt around the outside of Groom, and well, hang on a second, we've got a penalty in here against the Fijians. This is all adding up against them.
It is. Wes Nagama comes up and bowls Brent Tate right out of the road. It doesn't get the football.
Number 4.
It's pretty solid contact with him.
You'll see the point of contact, number 4.
Sideline officials come in as well to tell his version of events.
Greg Bird, is it?
It was Bird.
Yeah, he's took Bird out there off the ball.
Number 4.
There you go, a little bit of a cheeky elbow into the bottom of the jaw area there of Greg Bird, who goes down, and he's a tough character. He's straight back on his feet, but definitely was warranted there, that's for sure.
On report.
Wes is on report. I think that's just a little bit of paperwork.
Yep, we've seen worse.
But Australia will start another set deep inside Fijian territory. Andrew Fafita is now out there. I love watching him run the football, and he gets it straight away. He's got one of the best bumps in the game. And first up, he's eaten up by the defence.
Square, boys, wait. Hold.
They get over the top of him. Regitha out there as well. He's the other one of the hair bear bunch here for Fiji. 15 away from the line. The Kangaroos with Cronk to the right with Thurston. The shape is great at Inglis, and then on to Hayne. And Hayne, well, he's tried to put it down. He has got it down. Jared Hayne under the attention of 3 defenders. They won't even send it upstairs. Put in the front.
the shape and the depth and all the angles of the players working. 2 block runners, 3 a third from Sam Thaiday, and then a short ball from Greg Inglis. 4 Fijian players to deal with at the line, and somehow Jared Hayne decides it's my turn to go in here. Pushes towards the line. Of course, he's got good body strength, all arm tackles from Fiji, and just gets there.
And again, it's that weighted possession that tells again on the Fijian line. Too often now they're giving away cheap penalties, coughing up possession early in the tackle count, hence having no field position. And the Australians have been so dominant this game with the field position in the territory, and they have really made this Fijian side pay.
Look, if you just want comparison in class between the two playing personnels here, what about the try scorers so far for Australia? Thurston, 2-time winner of the Dally M in Australia and the NRL Player of the Year. Cooper Cronk, the current Dally M medal winner, Player of the Year. Jared Hayne, the 2009 Player of the Year. Darius Boyd, Origin Grand Final winner, Test player. And now Thurston bangs over another conversion. Classy lineup, isn't it? 22-0 scoreline to Australia.
It's somewhat unfair, isn't it, if you're listening in the South Pacific?
Well, Aaron Groom had a good year for the Asquith Magpies. And James Storer for Collegians in Wollongong, working down the mines. But they're here on the semi-final stage, doing their best against Australia. 4 tries now. 34-2 it was when they played in the preliminary round of matches on a bludger of a night up at St Helens, as far as the weather was concerned.
That's one. Move!
Great fans up there endured the wind and the rain and the cold. And the Aussies prevailed that night, 34-2. Lost Lucas in the process with a dislocated shoulder.
Go, 2.
And have had to soldier on, 1 man down in their squad. They weren't allowed to replace him.
That's 3 bad boys.
Kangaroos 5 metres inside their own half, 24 minutes into the game. Completion rate 85%. Fiji, I can't remember the last time they actually had a tackle. Here they are with the ball. Uate will run back.
Poor old Fiji. They've only completed 4 sets of 6 in this opening 25 minutes. Australia's completed 12 out of 13. 2 balls on the field.
Yeah, where did that ball come from?
Okay.
Someone from the
kick
crowd
was downfield, another ball ended up the field. It's a mysterious one. When does that ever happen?
2. Move!
Second ball out on the field for no particular reason. So here is what we talk about. Outside backs running like forwards. Korobetti's coming off the left wing to take that hit up.
Go, 3.
Storer to the right. They just need a little bit of confidence building minutes here. The Fijians, Pakuya sandwiched there between defenders. So those experienced forwards working hard. Sivanasiva up to halfway, and Fafita's there with Smith and Gallen, played by the Fijian captain. Got a bit of width here. Not a great ball there to Millard, who decides to kick. Bit of banana about it. Scooped up in nonchalant fashion by Inglis. And back comes the big fella. Greg Inglis puts a fend and a bump on them. Still they try to get him to ground.
It makes such a difference to get a good pass, doesn't it? You see Millard catch the ball behind him there and just took 2 metres off him. Had no room to attack and therefore only had the kick option to post through the line. You know, if he catches that ball in front of him, he can sum up his options, maybe pass, maybe kick, maybe run. Has 3 or 4 things going for him. Only had 1 option, courtesy of a poor pass.
Never underestimate the quality of skill.
Corey Parker now out there for Australia. Took that previous run. Gallen another hit up. Had the left arm throttling him there for Fiji. And Parker, who we know can offload Smith onto Thurston. They had 3-on-1 on the outside. And brilliant tackle by Wes Nagama on Thurston. Smith gets a kick in. That's diffused for Fiji. And well done at that for little Aaron Groom.
Yeah, Thurston, he had the pass in that previous play, didn't he? He had the overlap. If he promotes the football there, I think it's another try for the Australians, but they did well there, Fiji, to hang on. Oh, loose.
Korobette onto it, but Korobette's over the side and they've kept it alive. Miraculous. How'd they do that? Millard ends up with it.
Amazing play there from the Fijians. Thought they were got more money there, but they managed to keep it alive.
So a little bit of flamboyance there. Wanga now on to Korobette, who's straight back into it. Watch this again.
Wait, boys, wait.
He's gone, isn't he? He's going to join the fans in the front row. And he's just able to get that ball. And they kept it alive to bring it back to centre field. Korobede, who's had a terrible run of injuries this year, dislocated elbow and a fractured eye socket among them. Only played 9 games for the West Tigers this year in the NRL. Back for Millard, last tackle, had an opportunity to run. Now kicks down to Inglis. Inglis at fullback, pumps off Wanga. How does he do it?
He's just a brute, isn't he?
He's a freak.
I mean, if it's not a fend or a bump or a nice swerving action and a classy run, he comes up with a hard call as well, just to go up to someone and put 2 hands together and bang, push them off. And good defenders as well.
I said last week against the Tomahawks, I mean, he's playing men, but he turns men into boys. That's what it makes it look like, men against boys when he runs the ball. It's not fair. Smith with a kick from outside the 40 all the way to the corner, so still attention to detail the way they've structured their play. But Kevin Nagama able to watch that go touch in goal.
That's one thing the Australians do very well, don't they? They stick to a plan. They're very disciplined in their play. They get to their end of sets and they get good quality outcomes to end of sets. You might disagree with that one there going 10, but generally, you know, they're very, very good at their end of sets and getting to there.
Australian fans or viewers watching for 7, mate, if you got up early to watch this game rather than the first one, you missed an absolute classic. 20-18, New Zealand winning in the dying seconds against England. An extraordinary match, a superb test match. As now Sims on to Groom, big show of the ball out the right. Kevin Nagama onto his brother. Wes is almost away from Tate.
Good play, Fiji.
Almost away. Kevin into dummy half, and Uarte will bring it to centre field with a hop and a skip. Uarte runs at Smith and Fafita. Last tackle Fiji. Their best chance of the match so far. Storer to Groom. Groom has got the kick through. It looks strong off the boot. It is. That's a disappointment.
It is. It was a beautiful pass that set the right-hand side of Fiji alight. And I so wish Wes had given the ball to Aku and gone one-on-one. Thurston gets a run up through the middle. Vunakethe over the top. And then the last play option from Groom was just a bit heavy off the boot for a repeat set. But they look good when they move it, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and that's the second time down that right side they've created some space. You know, some good lines of run. It's a good execution of skill, hitting the man at the back and creating that 3v2 there. Some busy signs for the Fijians that they've had very little opportunities. But here go the Aussies down the right side with Thaiday.
And Thaiday playing ball player there, away for Hayne, well handled by the defence. Wanga there with Tariq Sims. Now Morris dumps it off inside. Nice play for Gallen. Oh, they've got obstruction play there. Silverwood says you can't go through that way, and Fiji get the penalty. No complaints from the Kangaroos, although a bit bemused, Paul Gallen.
Nowhere to hide for Fafita. Have a look here. Here he goes, runs straight in front of his teammate, Paul Gallen.
A little bit unfortunate. This little short side play, I've seen it on both sides of the field. They're doing this, where the dummy half's camping out, he's dropping off the half, and they're finding someone back on the short side, in behind the ruck there. It's a little play they've been using a few times in this game.
Big boy Kane Evans.
Got a massive stride on him too, hasn't he?
Yeah. And Tariq Sims. Scales quiver when he gets close to them. Big Kane Evans. Now the Sydney Roosters. This is an opportunity. Vunakethe to play it 21 metres away from the Kangaroos line. 22-0 to Australia. Bakuya spinning the tackle, but Bird's there to finish it off with Thurston. Bakuya wants to do a lot of running at the smaller players if he can find them. Now Sims to centre field. Vunakethe, one-handed offload put down there by Evans. And Silverwood will play the first knock on, and the completion rate right out of the door today for Fiji, right out the door, 58%.
They have to play like this if they're going to trouble Australia. So the offloads, and yes, they're going to make some mistakes. The one-hand pass, I'm not too sure, something like a layback or a rollback. But they did actually have a couple of nice tip-ons on the right and set Bakuya one-on-one alight with Thurston. Thurston was up to the task, and they come back across the middle with the offload as well. It was the play to go to, just the execution that cost them.
Heads in, Cameron.
And, as a result, scrum 12 metres out from the Australian line. As now the lights take their effect here at Wembley. And Evans came in as a third man, and that tackle put plenty in there into the back of Greg Inglis. Our Thurston right up to the line, goes under a highish tackle from Sims. Play on the call, I think that's fair enough from the ref. Now Smith, 8 minutes away from half time. I'd reckon, I'm going to put a prediction, the temperature's about 4 degrees right now. Parker to play it on the 40.
Go, 3.
And Australia just a steady set from them. From kick, it's almost as if they're trying to fine-tune everything now for the final. Korobetti will run back. Here we go. Rika Korobetti is back over the 20.
Back 10, Cameron.
The Australian chasers were spot on. Tate down there. Tate making the most of his opportunity. Injury ruled him out of the 2008 World Cup final after he'd scored 2 tries against Fiji in the semi. Didn't get a chance to play the decider.
Hold, mate, wait. Go, 3.
Now he's between a rock and a hard place because while he'd like his mate Billy Slater to be fit, he knows if Slater's fit, he loses his spot. Coruscant is now out there playing dummy half on the 14 for Fiji. 5 metres inside the Australian half. Last tackle play for them. Need to come up with some sort of result. Hasn't been too many so far. Centrefield bomb. Inglis underneath it. No pressure at all. There's a ring of Fijian defenders there, but they're 10 metres back. There's the Inglis bump again on big defenders.
Happens every time, propels himself into the defence and somehow rockets back out and has a second effort to go again. All those little 1%ers like the kicks going up in a non-contest against Australia, giving up easy yards.
Played by Boyd. Interesting to see how Tim Sheen uses Daly Cherry Evans today as Cronk gets a penalty in the tackle. Millard is having an unhappy day.
You mentioned Brent Tate before. I call him the mailman because he always delivers. He's like a good postie, and you'd like him delivering the paper every day because you know he's not only going to throw it over the fence, he'll come and pick it up and put it on the doorstep.
Well, hang on a second.
He does the right things, doesn't he?
He's a postman or is he the newspaper man? Who is he? The postman?
What are you saying? He's got a career after rugby league, eh?
He could be both.
Working for Australian Post. Fantastic.
You've got to make your mind up because the newspaper only have to deliver once in the morning, and there's a lot more mail than papers, I would think. You make your mind up. Thaidays with the ball here for the Kangaroos, and a handful, Sam Thaiday. And they managed to hold him. He has the right side, Bird has the left. And you throw the likes of Fafita and Papali into the mix as well. Smith, centrefield for Gronk. On they come with big Fafita. And not able to offload, but a quick play. The ball is good. And off goes Smith. He'll burrow over, but hasn't managed to get it down. Tarek Sims has got his arms under the ball. Wasn't he off quickly there, Cameron Smith, when he saw a chance?
Well done there, Fiji. I'm not being funny, it looked like a try for all money there. They had men on the floor, dead Marines on the floor there, and off goes Cameron Smith. He spots it straight away, but well done to recover. They did very well to recover that and defend that.
Thaiday Cronk, and a short pass now. There's trouble. Just Papali has been on, I think, only a matter of seconds. He scored on debut against Fiji in St Helens, and now he's scored against Fiji at Wembley. Nice double.
Energy levels starting to take their toll with Fiji. They're pushing up. Cameron Smith goes oh so close and ran into a sim sandwich with both brothers. And then it's a nice little offloading on the left-hand side, close to the post. Sam Thaiday, what a dummy half he is. Knows to duck out, take a couple of steps and hand it on to Cooper Crop, who finds a Josh Papali, fresh legs, up against some tiring defenders. Coruscant, low tackle needed. No good going high on a big man like Papali.
No, they had enough numbers there, Fiji, to defend that play, but great line from Papali. He runs a great little late-in line there, gets in between the two Fijian defenders of Coruscant and Bukia. And great finish for him, the big man, like you said, he's just come on, and an immediate impact. Try for Australia.
5 tries now for the Kangaroos. We're 4 minutes away from half-time. 26 on the board, and it's just a matter of going through the process for Thurston to add the 2. So it's a big moment for Josh Papali here at Wembley. I'm just trying to think through. He did play Origin this year, so he's played in front of slightly bigger crowds. Wouldn't have played in any bigger stadium, though. Heard an incredible story about Wembley and the Challenge Cup final here, boys, as Thurston converts. On the Challenge Cup day, they play an under-11s match. It's the curtain raiser, schoolboy footy. The story from way back in 1986, a young boy by the name of Stephen Mullaney scoring a try for Wakefield, under-11s, ran the length of the field, and as scored the try, the cameras caught him, tears in his face that he'd scored at Wembley. And the tragic part of the story, 3 years later, Stephen was killed in an accident walking home from school. And as a tribute to him, they named the shield for the under-11s here at Wembley, the Stephen Mullaney Shield. It's an incredible story, and you can YouTube it. You can see the try of this young boy from Wakefield scoring the big day.
Square Ashton. Wait,
What a remarkable tale it is. And I think that's a poignant moment. The Deers family, I hope they're honoured today by greats of Australian Rugby League playing at Wembley. And now for Fida. I think his dad was actually ground announcer at Featherstone on the north. So Mr. Mullaney, your son, your late son, is certainly not forgotten. So Australia in possession with Cameron Smith pushed back in the tackle there with Kethe, Sims. Now Inglis, on they march, the Kangaroos. Australia, New Zealand next week at Old Trafford, where we will break the record for a World Cup crowd. Smith to Thurston to Cronk, kicks from 40 metres out. Again, attention to detail, doing these little things, driving Fiji into the corner. They're not letting Fiji up with any cheap ball at all here. 90% completion rate now.
Absolutely, they're being relentless here, the Australians, and again, great quality to end the sets. Now, so often have we seen the Fijians in this half of football coming out from this end of the field with their own 20. That's where they're starting most of their sets, and it's making it very, very difficult. But like you said earlier in the call, Darryl, they might have to chance their arm a little bit, throw the ball a little bit, try and just catch the Aussies a little bit unawares if they're going to try and ruffle their feathers in any way.
I so like the work of Corey Parker when he comes off the bench. He's a really busy interchange player, and I think, you know, look, Corey Parker, I mean, don't want to be disrespectful to him, he's not the youngest man, but I think he's getting better with age, like, you know, like a good red wine. But he's mistake-free as well. And there's plenty of offloads in his game, subtleties that you don't pick up, and works through the middle. It's been great.
We saw some of his quality last week against the USA. I won't let him forget that.
Boyd, there's trouble. Straight through the centre. Boyd is on the tarmac. Cues up another play in support, and Thurston's lost it. Thurston knocks on. There was almost too many Kangaroos to pass it to.
I want to watch the work of Akila Uate here, coming in for the kill. Boyd goes straight up the middle, and they start queuing up because they were in front of him to start with. And it's Cameron Smith who catches the pass. He's a little bit flat, which then twists him in the angle. Here's the kick. Have a look at the work of Boyd. Stands up, says, where shall I run? I'll hunt midfield, drift across to my right. A nice little step. Too easy up through the middle. When they start queuing up and Uate will come into the frame, whoa, it's going to nail him as well.
Big play that from Uate.
Fiji will get possession coming up to half-time, but 28-0, 5 tries in this first half of footy for the Kangaroos. Loose ball, Australia will get one last chance, and quickly along Gallen and Cronk, and it comes for Hayne. Hayne will sprint away, Corabetti is chasing, Hayne gets there for the Kangaroos, and that hurts big time. The Fijians conceding another try right on half-time, and Hayne has his second.
We're just working and talking about the skills of Corey Parker as interchange player. There's a real subtlety here after this offload from Vunakethe. Thaiday throws a speculator, and just the need to know that I need a catch and pass here just to shift to give someone some space on the outside. Another subtle little plays of an interchange player that you really want, because you've been on the bench, you want to come on and make an impact. You probably want to do it with a run or a tackle, but a tip-on can be the play as well.
You're absolutely right, Darryl. And again, we see the quality of Jared Hayne. We saw it last week against the USA, the amount of damage he did down that right edge with his footwork. And again, he just stands up his opposite man. Great feet. This time takes him on the outside and then burns him for pace to finish over the try line about 10-15 to the right-hand side of the upright.
It was an interesting finish from Hayne, wasn't it? He sort of slowed down to go to the line, but wanted to get the ball quickly because Corabetti was
chasing hard. Yeah, he was
zeroing in on him.
Thurston to put an exclamation mark, if you like, the first half for the Kangaroos. 19 of 22 completed sets, and with the ball they've done so much with it. Australia go to half-time in this second semi-final. Mission accomplished, first 40, 34-0 over Fiji. They know that it's going to be a tough second 40 minutes, but as a team, they've done great things for their nation at this World Cup. And they will have pride in their performance. The sun has said goodbye for the day here at Wembley. Lights now full effect as Ngama gets the second half underway, and it's now over 280 minutes of football since Australia last conceded a try at this World Cup. It's imposing, isn't it? And Tim Sheens will want them to go on with the job. They know that the Kiwis have had a huge test for them to prepare for a final earlier today. Now Australia's turn as Parker remains out there for the second half. And with it is Tamo, 5 short of halfway.
Tackle 4, go.
And just to confirm that replacement at half-time with Koroibete replaced by Semi Ranrandra or Wangavata. As Thurston bombs to the corner, Ngama will get across to it. I'll say this about Kevin Ngama. He'll link up next year with the Penrith Panthers. I think he's going to have a good time there. He finished the year with a big chance, replacing James McManus, Andrew, who would have played a part, bar injury for Scotland at this World Cup. And gee, was good in finals football, and he's brought that form to this World Cup for Fiji. Kevin Ngama, good player.
Be interesting to see how they play in the second half, Fiji. Only 2 dummy half runs in the first half for Fiji. Therefore, a lot of passing and interchange when they've had their yardage sets, where I would have thought all the outside runners they've got would have ducked into dummy half there, the outside backs, and had 10 or 15.
Here they are working an inside channel for Tarek Sims.
On Cameron, way boys,
just 5 metres short of halfway, last tackle. Managing to complete their first set of the second half, or will they? Yes, they do get the kick in from outside the 40. On the fingertips of Boyd, but he's able to pull that back in. And now a crossfield run. Well tackled by Coruscant. And Brett Morris gets his hands on the footy. Thinking what's gone wrong? 4 tries last week, almost got 5. None as yet from this match. Now Thurston got his way past Vinakethe there. Been strong again. Thurston has already got a couple of Man of the Match awards at this World Cup for Fiji to play it on the 40. Smith is trapped by the marker. Bear hug tackle there by Evans. Last tackle for the Australians, and Cronk still steering the ship out for Thaiday. Now they do have an opportunity to run, and Hayner's going to send Morris on a run through. This one is just going to roll a little too far, and Ngama had it covered in any case.
That's just an example there of when you come out and put kick pressure on your own and get yourself in a little bit of trouble. You know, we talk about trying to put kick pressure on from the marker area, from the inside, or from the A defender, which is the closest to the ruck. But I think one Sims there flew out from the B defensive area on his own. Like I said, Conk just took him on the outside and almost created something. A dangerous play.
Used to be the case when Lockyer was out there for Australia. Darren Lockyer, if you rushed up at him on the last, you paid a price more often than not. As Kevin Ngama now with another run. 4 metres short of halfway. Hayne out on that right side for Australia has 8 tries for this World Cup. He scored 3, or rather 4 for Fiji back in 2008. He says that his heart will always be with Australia, but his soul always with Fiji. So mixed emotions for him here. As Bakuya now has tried really hard for Fiji on this right side. Out they go with a kick from Groom. Back to centre field. It's between Inglis and Morris. It certainly is between them. It then bounced. But a good bounce for Morris, and in fact, we've got offside against the Fijian chasers.
It's the little things like that, you know. They had a decent end of set there, got a half-decent kick away, a good kick chase, but that little discipline just to be in front of the kicker there, it costs them, takes the pressure off the Australians, and again makes the pressure back on Fiji now.
I thought Wes Ngama was the one that was called offside, but to be fair to the Fijians, when you're out of energy and out of juice, it's sometimes difficult to get back and
you lose concentration.
You play those little games. cost you poorly or dearly in this game.
Well, again, we'll keep you up to date with that completed set stat for Australia, because we do make so much of it as Friday. Big run over the top of Millard, but they're 22 or 26 at the moment, Australia. That's impressive, and it's not because of some soft defence from Fiji. There's some big boys out there that have put their bodies on the line. So Australia with Parker. Oh, Thurston! Do they put their bodies on the line? Yes, they do. Bakuya on Thurston.
Look out, Sims he's been mouthing off for a few plays now in back play. Sims, he's been looking for this.
You don't like my moustache? We'll cop this. Bakuya on Thurston was solid.
Solid shot there from Bakuya.
Then Sims came up with a late tackle off the ball. Let's see if the high shot picks it up. On Parker.
Yeah.
They used to be teammates, you know, at the Brisbane Broncos.
There's nothing in it, though. It was more a shove than anything.
Yeah, there was no malice in it, is what you're saying there, Daryl. Yeah, it was just a dumb play, really, from Sims, to be fair, because I'm not being funny. A great read from Bakuya to push through the line as he read it going out the back and clattered Jonathan Thurston. But Sims, dumb play, and again, it'll cost his side.
To be honest, I don't think we need this caution. I don't think we need to hold up play.
No, you're right, absolutely right,
let's go on.
Late shot, penalty, let's get on with the game. Absolutely right there. There's no malice or intent.
It is a
take
test
his
match.
head off. You know what I mean? That's the way it goes. But I'll tell you what, it's been brewing that from Sims, because I caught him a couple of times gobbing off, you know, to Corey Parker and that after he played the ball.
I say this about Ashton Sims through his career. He's like a soft drink can that's shaken up. He's waiting to be opened at some point.
But have you ever seen him pop?
So he's like
I've seen him pop. Don't worry about that. He's a can of Sprite. That's it. He's a can of Sprite that's been shaken up. Now bringing drinks into it besides food. So Australia with the ball. And Thaiday runs almost away and through the tackle of Inakethe. He's had a big game, Sam Thaiday.
Yeah, he's been impressive.
Cooper Cronk. Oh, there was a gap there for him. And just hanging on to the tackle was Kane Evans. Smith, left side. Thurston with Inglis. Inglis takes them on. 3 and 4 defenders. Bakuya pushed him back. Coruscant there as well. Australian snappy work with Thurston out to Thaiday. He needs to get it over the top. He's found his man, Morris. Hayne is looking for a hat-trick, doesn't get the ball. Tackled by Wanga. Hayne at dummy half. Last tackle for the Kangaroos. Thurston's going to kick it out towards Darius Boyd. It's high, it's long. Boyd has batted it down. Tate did the same. Fiji lose the ball. Australia have got it. And another 6 comes their way. 9 from the line. Papali ended up with it. Parker's got another touch. Parker bats the ball back, offload on the toe. Bit of AFL play from the Kangaroos. That's Australian rules football. Then the ball with Inglis. Trying to go over the top of Coruscant. 11 away from the line, but a full set back to back for the Kangaroos. Now for Feeder. There's that bump and fend. Offload under the armpit. Onto Tamo off Smith. Tamo's held up. 9 from the line, 34-0. That was the half-time score. Smith goes short. Great defence on Parker from Coruscant. Smith, Thurston's it down. Well, there you go.
Well done, Fiji. 2 back-to-back sets on their goal line. I thought they defended the first one really well. It was a little bit unlucky to give the 6 away again, but they defended again. They backed it up with another great defensive set there, and a little bit of an uncharacteristic knock on there. Unforced error from Jonathan Thurston. A little bit wayward that set for the Australians, Darryl, you thought. A little bit loose, or sort of side to side, a bit lateral. Didn't know what they were doing, where they were going. First time I've seen them not organised in an attacking set.
Well, the first set of 6 was perfect. The last play option up and out wide, and then they get the repeat set of 6. But I thought the tackle of Coruscant on Corey Parker, Cameron Smith was just trying to entice him in closer to push him through the line, and when he threw the short water, Corey Parker was pretty much over beside the post. Took a great tackle. In fact, speaking of great tackles, Jonathan Thurston comes up with one on Aku.
I've never seen that on Aquila Ioane ever. And it was Thurston who upended him. He is a hard run to the footy, and he was manhandled.
How tall's Kane Evans? He's 6'8".
Big boy.
Something like that. So Fiji in possession, getting back over the 30-metre line, and Vunakte now.
That's for now,
defence.
Hold. Go. 4.
He's been incredibly damaging out on that right side of the field. Millard sends Fiji that way with Sims.
Last.
Not helped their cause not having Corbin Sims available. I mean, that's an editorial that we can give again, but I thought he was hard done by a 2-game ban. He should have been playing today. Here's Boyd back. We should have had all 3 Sims boys out there for Fiji.
Don't get me started on Dan's, Vossi.
Back, boys, back.
That is solid defence on Darius Boyd. Evans over the top. Didn't get down too low. Involved again. Nice right shoulder.
That's two.
And Papali.
Kane, come on.
Groom
Go.
getting involved in the tackle with Kane Evans, and Australia get over halfway with Tate.
Move, back 10 here.
Second half, no points as yet. Bit of an arm wrestle, in fact, since the break. Now Tamo to Cronk. Now it's an open arm wrestle. They've released, and Hayne, they've let him off the chain again. But Wanga is across there with Ranrandra. Parramatta teammates. Cronk back to the short side, and Sammy gets there again. Broke into the NRL this year with Parramatta. Thurston going to kick out for Tate and Boyd. Boyd's going to look for the bat back. Here it is, up they go. Uarte lost it back. He's got the ball. And in fact, they're going to say knocked forward by Australia. So Fiji have hung on. Another set.
A little let off there for them. But again, well done Fiji. You know, they've been under the pump a little bit this second half, and they've worked hard for each other. There's certainly been no shortage of effort from the Fijians, from their defensive effort. You know, they're getting some good contact, a good bit of wrestle. And yeah, like you said, as you've pointed out, Voss, it's a bit of an arm wrestle this second half so far.
So Fiji in possession, and the Australian completion rate now 25 of 29, and Fiji have completed their handling, improved in the second half, which is helping the cause. And Ranrandra with the ball back over the 30-metre line, but their play has become a little simpler. It's not going to necessarily pose too many questions, as Bakuya does well. They attack an edge.
That was perfect from Fiji. Bakuya coming back on a slight little angle. Coruscant now with a good duck out of dummy half. Ball goes backwards, distant.
Found a strip and all of that. Oh, here's a chance for Fiji. 11 minutes into the second half. Penalty 14, or 40 metres out rather. Set should start round about the 20.
Cameron Smith, is it? He gets a hand on the football. It's pretty much one-on-one till Papali comes into the action.
Again, you hate the stripping rule when you see that.
Yeah, you do, yeah, I agree.
But they're the rules that we are governed by. Sims took a charge. He decided, I want to run at Papali there, and he certainly achieved that. Sevenasiva's back out there, Fiji. Well, this is the last game in the career of Petro Sevenasiva at 34-0 scoreline. And Coruscant away for Groom, and then Uarte has come in off the right wing, finds himself out at left centre. Millard will lock ons again. Oh, it's been put down there off Evans, and play on the call, fall for Feta. Execution not good there by Fiji.
Absolutely, you took the words out of my mouth there, Andrew Voss. It's been the story
I like
of the night.
that though. I like Uarte coming in on the left side and having a little bit of variety. And just there before, we see a big show and go from Sam Thaiday.
He's been impressive. He's been impressive today, Sam Thaiday. I've really been impressive on that right edge.
Yeah, we saw a big performance last week. Fred Pritchard for New Zealand. And their quarter-final Thaiday been much the same today. Really busy, real lively, looks fit. It's Cronk on to halfway. And Smith, Thurston, they're going to attack the centre of the ruck there. But the markers were aware of it. Good tackle, Tarek Sims, although we've got a penalty, the Kangaroos. They put the go, press the go button there, Australia, and Fiji were just clinging to hang on and conceded the penalty as a result.
I like the way Jared Hayne gets involved though. Here we see he actually comes from the middle of the field here. He's playing right centre, but he's got himself into the middle of the field to run an inside ball and pushes up nicely. That's a little bit of a touch there in the play.
But I'll defend Fiji there. You can't just leave your ball. You can't just put the ball down and leave your body off it there. You know, I think a bit went against Hayne there as well. Tarek Sims had done the job in defence. Doesn't have to let go of the man straight away, surely. One-on-one tackle. 15 metres away from the line. Kangaroos with the ball, 34-0 the points this second half. As Parker took the run, he's done the same, looking for. Well, how can that be play on? They say play on for Thaiday. And Australia with the ball 3 metres away. Wanga there, last man to roll. Inglis, run around, look out, on to Matt Scott. Scott is held in the tackle as Evans prevents the offload up top. Where's Sims? Now the ball's loose, now a penalty. It's all getting rather untidy at the moment, scrappy. 13.5 into the second half. And Australia will go in search of their first try for the second half. Smith up, Cronk inside. It's Tamo who's on the inside. He may have lost it. James Tamo, no, they say try. Silverwood doesn't check it. James Tamo has his first try at the World Cup.
My first thought swirl was Greg Inglis on the inside running the line. Just happens to be big Jimmy Tamo. Reaches out, scones it. Beautifully set up. I guess there was plenty of action on the left, so on the outside. And Tamo, he's running like a three-quarter.
It's a great effort here, and similar to Suma, just arrives a little bit too late there to close on the inside. And again, it's the third back-to-back set that Fiji had to defend on their line there. They gave away their penalty for Jared Hayne trying to play the football, and they give away another penalty late in the count with the strip of the football under the post. And off the resulting tap play, you know, the Aussies, they just take it to the line there. Cooper Cronk, nice inside ball to Tamo, running a great angle back on the inside. And unfortunately for the old Cinnamon Receiver, he just couldn't quite close that inside and stop the play. But good try for Tamo.
And Richard Silverwood, perfectly right. He saw it. No doubts about the put down at all. I'm sure the ball came loose after that, but well done. They'd send it upstairs. He backed himself. Now Thurston to convert for a 40-0 lead for Australia. Thurston only the one missed today, so he's back in kicking form. He's blocked our cameraman as well. 40-0. Australia one try second half after 6 in the first.
Wow, a bit of Tina Turner in the background, boys. The old Whitfield Cup days. Were you starring those adverts back then, Daryl?
I was never in any advert.
Shirt off, yes, you were. E.T. Andrew Eddinghausen, Wayne Pearce. You were there just in the
Same
back.
Hairstyles as Andrew Eddinghausen.
In the back of shot you were. You were one of the extras.
Absolutely. And then he got a gig with Lowe's after that, did you, Daryl? I don't know.
You might have to explain that. Giving Lowe's a mention of menswear store in Australia.
How good would it, boys, if Sivan Asiva scored tonight in his final game? Be a nice send-off, wouldn't it?
Well, that's an interesting one off the wish list. At 40-0, 16 minutes into the second half. Second half possession, 73 to 27%. Overall, 70 to 30, and that's likewise the second half territory. Same stat. You know, they're all massive numbers, aren't they? Massive numbers in favour of a team that were raging hot favourites in any case. And now down the left they go, and Thurston is offloaded. Now has a pretty handy runner in Papali to hit the mark. Big strong lad, last tackle with Cronk. Interesting kick's gone. The running grubber, and a great pickup by Nagama.
Lovely work, Kevin Nagama. The ball could have bounced up anywhere, could have bounced right over the top of him. Sort of bent down and scooped it up in the one motion, really attacked the football. Rangi Rangda. Oh, look at this. That's good work. I agree with you. Penrith, you've got a gem next year.
And we'll have the two brothers there. The money that Fiji, prize money they're picking up here, a lot of it going towards funding development offices across Fiji so that they're able to get around and have places to stay. They go from town to town, sleep on the floors of whoever they can to do their camps and training clinics and the like. So, you know, regardless of the scoreline today, a lot of good's going to come of this effort from Fiji, as Millard had the biggest look you could ever see there out in front.
Spilled the lollies, and poor old Sam Thaiday couldn't receive him straight in front of them. He's disappointed in his effort as well. Big Petro deserves a stage here at Wembley. It was a tough afternoon for him on the football field. Had a bit of spell in the first half after a 15-minute stint to start with.
When was the last time they had snow at Wembley?
I think it's coming.
No. Maybe today. Okay, Australia with the scrum feed just inside their own half, and Smith breaking away from the scrum. Hayne, good fend.
That's one.
And Randra was able to wind him in there. Smith and Tamo into the Sims tackle. Sivan Asiva there. Coruscant. 34-0 at half-time. Now 40-0. 19 into the second half. Cronk and Thurston, still no Cherry Evan out there. Tate onto the ball. Tate away, and away goes Boyd. He walked a tight sideline to get his second try of the match. Uarte only needed the smallest bump, would have taken him off stride, but wasn't able to come up with it.
I told you the postman would deliver. Look at this, Brent Tate. Just perfect timing of the pass. Sprints at Uarte, just holds him up a little. And no, Boyd's got good wheels as well. Not often you see them go around the outside of Uarte. Lovely work. I love it. A different option.
Fantastic play for the Australians, and I like the halfbacks taking the ball to the line, squaring up at the line as well, which stops the slide, engaging and fixing their defenders, and the great lines are running as well. Lead lines out the back. Obviously, he goes out the back there to Brent Tate, and he just gets on the outside of his man, Naguama, and feeds Boyd. And what a finish from Darius Boyd there. You know, he's very close to that sideline. Twinkle toes, keeps inside, and manages to finish off around nicely there. But great work try, good shape from the Australians, good execution, and good decisions.
I thought it was a great decision to stay on the outside of Tate when Tate took it and had a narrow channel to work with.
Good point.
Normally he would drop back on the inside and catch the players going at the wrong angle, but they realised they had the speed on and had speed to get past Uarte. That's a brave decision.
It was a good decision, as you said, because he was running that outline, wasn't he, Tate? He didn't exactly square up at the line. He kept going on that outline. So like you said, yeah, immediate reaction would be to drop under, but he stays out and finishes off a great try.
Still we go on with this minute stat since the Kangaroos last conceded a try. As Thurston from 10 in front touch, there's the right to left. Thurston bangs over another one, and 46-0 now the score. And that is 20 minutes into the second half. And that stat is well over 300 minutes now since the last try they have conceded.
Special moment for Tate to be able to play both sides of the football field as well. I mean, he's equally adept on both. Had a lot of at right centre. Now we see him at left.
So Australia into the next passage of play, and Gallen running across field and away from Bakuya. They've got a real tough back row. Gallen, Thaiday, Bird, and they bring on the likes of Parker and Papali into it. There's not too many boxes that aren't ticked. Terry Evans out there and an offload from the Manly Warringah halfback, and then a dummy half roll here. They keep Cameron Smith out there. By the way, the crowd today, across the day, 67,545. So huge attendance. Just short of a record World Cup attendance, which we believe will be broken next week at Old Trafford in Manchester. How good is that going to be? Australia, New Zealand. I probably should ask you, even though we've got 18 and a half to go here without being disrespectful to Fiji, but you tip, Darryl? Kangaroos, Kiwis?
I'll only go one way, but I think Australia have played themselves today into favouritism in the way the Kiwis played as well, and the work of England, who actually stepped up to the plate. However, I'm only too happy for Australia to be the favourites. You know,
poor pass. Thurston, Inglis has gone back for it. Slater may be available next week for the Kangaroos. Kiwis more than likely will have Pritchard and Varuve in the mix for selection. They missed today through injury. Gallen, good tackle there on Paul Gallen. You don't often see that one-on-one thrown down. It was from Coruscant. Hasn't he played well? Coruscant coming on. Parker can get a pass away. There it is from Parker to Tate. Now to Thurston. Thurston to Cronk. Thaiday needed to get one more and can't. Millard was there with Nagama. Last tackle, Australia, Cronk. Oh, they've done well there. Tarek Sims, how did he do that?
Amazing. Great hands from Sims there. Saves the day. It was a great kick from Cronk. He got it through the line, but Sims somehow just lunged back, dived back and scoops it back in. Watch this. Well done.
Yes.
Yeah, lovely play. I so love the way the coaches mix these things up. When Daly Cherry Evans comes on, you believe Cameron Smith will get a spell, but he doesn't. Cherry Evans comes on and plays dummy half, and Cameron Smith sort of just fits himself into the middle of the field somewhere, and they've got so many ball players shifting the ball. Maybe that's the way the game goes late in the half, so you've got a lot more space. Uarte.
Well, I've got to be honest, I think it's the deal of the captain. Smith is captain of the side, doesn't like to come off, and I think Sheens respects that. The captain stays out there. And now on the last tackle, they make a meal of it, Fiji. Still, you can't have it both ways. You can't try and be flamboyant and then be critical if they make a mistake. They're up against a relentless defensive line.
He's not at his best day today, Millard, to be fair. We've seen him in the Super League for the Catalan Dragons this year. Normally in the centres he plays. He's been pretty good, pretty effective. They call him Magic, but he hasn't been magic today, I'm afraid, boys.
He's also been asked to step up and deliver a kicking game as well, which he wouldn't often do down the Catalan Dragons, and right foot kicker playing on the left.
Cronk and going out to the right side. The Kangaroos bringing Inglis in. They've done a pretty good job on Inglis in this second half. Fiji, you sometimes get the impression that maybe Greg's going through the paces, but going through the motions, but they've held him well. There hasn't been the same bump in this second half. Scott to play it, 20 away from the line. Cherry Evans and Smith in that ball playing role. Thurston pumps it on. Tate, Boyd wants a hat-trick. Back in fielder comes the right wingers, right side, had all the fun last week. He's looking to add to his tally here. Now Cherry Evans and Smith fired along for Cronk. They're backing. Oh, great tackle. Tarek Sims again. That time on Cronk. Last play it is for the Kangaroos. Cherry Evans, Thurston, going to kick it across towards Boyd. Underneath it, Uate is up for a clean take. He even sort of split the legs as he went into the air. Fuses that one for Fiji.
I want to ask you this question, Andrew. Cameron Smith, the way you see him play, a lovely play from Uate here. Do you think he could even go back and play 5'8" in the later years of his life? If dummy half is such a tiring position and the work the whole time, take yourself a little bit out into a 5'8" role, I think he'd easily adapt into something like that.
Well, he's got a kicking game, hasn't he? He's got a good passing game. Has he got the speed on the edge to create? I'd say he has got enough in him, in those legs. I mean, will he slow up a little bit as he gets older? I don't know. But he's definitely got the attributes and the skills to be able to play that. And he certainly can organise as well. So, for me, he does tick all the boxes.
The target of a very big offer from the Brisbane Broncos back in Australia, Cameron Smith. And I think you'll find that he will decide his future for 2015 and beyond before the 2014 season gets underway, whether he stays in Melbourne or heads back home to Brisbane. And Australia have possession, 5 metres inside their own half. And Gallen is the man with it. Up over half we goes. Host broadcaster of the Rugby League World Cup. Premier Sports have the rights to show the NRL in the United Kingdom. They'll be doing again in 2014 as Thurston kicks over the top. Tate's got it on the boot. Coming through is Uate. Oh, he's lost it. No. And that is forced it. Simultaneous would be a forfeited try. There is only going to be a fraction of a second, I reckon, in this. Whether Fafita gets there first or whether he gets there the same time as Uate. There's only one possible scenario for Fiji for it not to be a try, and that's if Uate managed to force it in the nick of time.
Okay, so we're looking from the first kick to make sure all the players are on side. So if we can just please pause it on the foot. We've got one man who's offside. He's off. Right, okay, let's jog on from there. We'll follow him. Everyone. He's okay. Can we just? He's okay there on that kick, and it was without the 10. Can we just go close in that? I'm happy that from the second kick, all the Australian players on side, and that from the challenge, he was 10 metres away. I need this really, really slow to make a decision. There, now that goes back off Fiji. Is there a knock-on? Australia. I can't see a knock-on there. It just looks like it's gone back off Fiji, and the Fijian man has grounded the ball in goal. Can we just make sure that there's no knock-on of Australia? So I'm happy that's gone back. That's fine. There's no other hand that it's touched. It's touched his leg, so that's fine. That's okay.
Oh.
Now, is there a knock-on of
clearly.
Australia? Can we just jog that back?
That's heavy contact, isn't it, with a padding Uate to recover after hitting the post. The ball. I think this is brilliant play at the end of a real mess.
Can we just roll it on from here, please?
Get hammered into the post.
See if there's a knock-on off
Ben
Australia.
Taylor's our video referee.
The hand's down there. Now, does it touch the Australian hand there? That to me looks like there's no ball change, so it probably looks. If we
So
could just
Taylor's
have a
trying to
look
work out whether
camera
Fafita
there,
actually
that
knocked the
would be great.
ball on the goal line.
To me, there's no change of direction. The ball just goes
up
down.
On the 20.
I'm happy that that's going to be a goal line drop out. So it's no
so
try, mate.
No try.
Goal
Definitely
line drop
no
out.
try. And Andrew Fafita's a fibber, because there's no way he got there first. He's a fibber. He's a World Cup fibber, which makes him a very big fibber. So no try to Andrew Fafita. 46-0 with 13.5 to go. And line drop out the decision. And credit to Fiji, they're ready to go again. They're not wasting time, even though they're down by 46 zip. And Gallen is the man who brings it back to Rugby and Sivanasiva. And a penalty goes away for Australia. Isn't it a whole lot in it? I'd have to think that Rick Stone lets Petro play out the final 13 minutes now. Cherry Evans ended up on his back there. He was bowled over sideways. Smith back into dummy half as a result. Scott to Cronk. They've scored only 2 tries in their second half. And Fafita held in the tackle. Sims has done very, very well this second half. Tarek Sims there with Millard. Now Smith takes off backwards, if anything, and then finds a straight runner. And Hayne has a hat-trick. Hayne scores and becomes the leading try scorer at this World Cup. Jared Hayne with 3 tries, and Australia have hit 50.
Who would have thought Jared Hayne would play the role he's played for Australia when he left the shores of Australia for this World Cup? Beautiful little angled run in behind, players on the outside for Smith, and pace and determination to get to the try line has been his trademark this afternoon, Jared Hayne. He deserves all 3.
A simple but effective play there for the Australians. Cameron Smith jumping out of dummy half, going across the field. He feints to drop off Brent Tate there on the inside, and then finally picks up Jared Hayne on the drop-off play. And like I said, sheer power, strength gets him over. But what I'm loving about this Australian side, Daryl, is I'm looking across the park, just as that play the ball was happening, again seeing Brent Tate and Jared Hayne on the same side, on a short side. Cherry Evans was on the far side in the centre position on the left there. You know, they've just got that versatility, their interchange amongst the different positions in the field. Fantastic. I mean, that's got to bamboozle some defences at times, doesn't it?
When you've got players outside you and options and all the eyes going to everyone else, a simple, hard, straight line provided by Hayne does the damages. Jonathan Thurston continues to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
What about Paul Kevin Nagama? The replay showed quite clearly he copped it. Well, I'll put it this way, he copped it in the orchestra stalls. Poor old Kevin trying to make the tackle. Have a look at Paul Kevin Nagama, puts his body on the line to stop Jared Hayne. And he ends up, I think, at the finish of it with the elbow of Jared. Yeah, that's the upper thigh region, I've been told, is the way I have to explain it as. Orchestra stalls. You work it out. But that hurt Kevin Nagama. No matter which way you put it, go find another word in the thesaurus for it. It's painful, no matter what adjective you use. Or... Here we go with Australia up to 52-0 here. And Inglis on to Scott. Up he goes over the 30. You talk about basics and going through the process. What Scott and Tama done from the opening minutes of this match has been so strong. Yeah,
this Scott fella, you know, he doesn't get a lot of the plaudits, does he? But I tell you something, he just keeps going. He is the engine room of that Australian middle, and he just turns up, does all the hard yards, gets the team rolling, does a great job. He's a bit of an unsung hero for me in the middle.
I've got another penalty here, and it goes the way of Fiji. First of all, it gives you the impression that he was going to give it to Kangaroos, but it was another obstruction play. That's Richard Silverwood ruled. You get the perfect angle, head on, round the back of Inglis.
Their timing about it, they just lack communication of what the play was there.
All right, final 10. Andrew Henderson, co-commentator, has called for a Sivanasiva try.
Oh, let's hope so, boys. It'll be a nice send-off for him.
There he is with the ball to play it, 29 metres out. And Rugitha carries forward, close to the 20. Coruscant has been one of Fiji's best playing dummy half. Some major minutes in this one. 9 minutes to go at 52-0 to the Kangaroos. Bakuya running up into the tackle there of Parker and Smith. This is a big chance. They haven't been down this end in the second half at all, Fiji. Groom sets it up for Miller. They're nice and deep. Nagama came into the line, and along it comes Ranrandra. Oh, the defence gets across, and it's solid. There's going to be no easy passage from the Kangaroos. They are a side on a mission here.
This is a typical run, a real Fijian style. Body shape straight at Australia to try and propel himself over the line.
Pass, that one.
Courtesy of a foot pass at the end, but I love the intent and the desire just to stay in the field of play and deliver something for Fiji.
Yeah, Brett Morris, he was put out of the way, wasn't he? Ended up over the sideline trying to tackle Ranrandra there. Gallen, nice little offload away for Smith, and then Hayne has got another run. Look at the speed, look at the speed. He's decided to offload to Morris. Well, we had the Olympics here not too far ago. Hayne might have given Usain Bolt a run for his money off the start. They're just going to check if Morris has got a foot on the sideline. I reckon Hayne could have scored himself. But again, Ben Thaler will have the final call on this one, the video ref.
Okay, guys, if we really slow this down, please. Make sure his foot is in the field of play. I'm happy everything's okay there. And there. And there. Now, I need to see if, from behind, if his foot is touching the flag, that's fine, he's in. If the foot is actually on the whitewash, then he's probably out. So I really need it from behind. Let's have a look at this one. Really, really slow, please. Right, if I could have that really shot in, so I've got a really close view of it, please. It looks like the foot is just touching the flag, and therefore that is in, and it doesn't look like it's on the ground. It touches the flag, so if it just goes to the front angle again, the foot has not touched the line, it's just touched the flag. So if we look from the front angle again, on the ball on the floor, that's a try. Try.
So it's going to be confirmed. The corner post interpretation comes into play, and Brett Morris adds another to his tally. It's better than a try a test in the career of Brett Morris. At 56-0 becomes the scoreline here. But Hayne set it up for his wing partner.
Unselfish play, really, from Jared Hayne. Beautiful ball from Cameron Smith to get to the outside and put Hayne in some space. And then good work from Wes Nagama, who came from the clouds, really, to deny Hayne, who had to shuffle the ball to Morris. And Jonathan Thurston's kicked everyone bar one. The one missed from touch as well. So this one just a personal goal.
And we see it here. If you saw Kevin Sinfield, what Darryl's talked about opening up the angle. Thurston from the sideline takes it back good 27 metres. Sinfield doesn't take it back as far. And Thurston, wonderful, wonderful kick at Wembley. He's kicking against Fiji in the preliminary match in the wind and the rain at St Helens was absolutely incredible.
I'm going to give you a job as a kicking coach. Well explained.
And Thurston acknowledged again as man of the match. Another medallion. He's going to have to get through the X-ray machine at the airport on the way out of Heathrow. But again, plenty of contributors to this Australian performance today at 58-0. Really do feel spoiled that we've had the two matches in light of how good and how gripping that first semi-final was. But we're going to have a repeat of 08 where New Zealand beat Australia, and then a real repeat of the 2000 final from Old Trafford at Manchester, where Australia got home in the final 15 minutes to beat the Kiwis. Here come Australia again. Cherry Evans, we'll look at all the chasers. Inglis is there, take your pick. They can't mess it up, and yes, they can. There was 5 of them there.
Great scramble defence from the Fijians. Where did they come from late, those Fijians? Because I'll tell you what, there was 5 or 6 Australians in that picture when Cherry Evans kicks it back on the inside with the banana kick. And it's just the bounce of the ball just gave enough time for the recovering Fijians to get back there and just stop the play on Thurston. A great effort in the end for him, but
if that ball bounces and rolls forward, there's 4 of them all fighting over it. But when it bounces, and it bounces so high, that gives Fiji just enough time to come back and save the day.
I've got to make the admission. What do you call a bunch of kangaroos? I was about to say a flock of kangaroos on the inside. A gaggle. What's more than one kangaroo? I should know.
Well, you're the Australian here. We call it a mob of sheep. I wouldn't call it a mob of kangaroos, would you?
Someone help me out here.
a throng of roos, I don't know.
Well, there was plenty there, believe me. And Fiji have the ball now into the final 5 at 58-0. 34-0 it was at half-time. They put on 4 converted tries in the second half, as they did last week in beating the Tomahawks. And so they're about to go into the final unless Fiji can manufacture something in this final minutes of the match. They're going to go in without conceding a try since the final 10 minutes of their opening match. Go through 4 straight games, over 320 minutes since the last try conceded.
That's impressive for this level of competition, boys, isn't it?
Sivanasiva and Fiji one last hurrah as they reach the last tackle of this set. I think it's tip over the top time, isn't it? Who's got one in their kit bag?
Sivanasiva.
Right side, Groom is going to try it and send it, but it's a long short kick.
Oh no!
And Inglis is onto it. Hello, Inglis is saying, look at the carry. A big GI. He's turned them around again. Inglis. Inglis is tackled. He would have had the pass to Boyd. It would have been an incredible try at Wembley. Smith to Thurston, out towards Hayne, he's off.
Oh no!
Bombed it!
The postman's dropped his post.
Yes, Tate, the paper, who is he? Did we decide? Postman,
You know,
the paper boy, what's happened?
He's the mailman, and that just didn't get in the letterbox, that one.
No! He's absolutely murdered a try.
It must have been some of that mail that you actually don't want. You know, the rubbish you get? Some of the bills, perhaps.
But look at this run from Inglis. You know, he picks it up on the bounce and on the fly, and he beats 3 or 4 would-be ones, shrugs off Makuya. You think he's going to get the flick out pass there to Boyd. Oh, it would have been the try of the tournament if that had come off.
Inhuman run from Greg Inglis.
He's a freak.
They are not small, they're not unskilled, they're not without effort defenders he was beating. But he turned them into witches' hats, into cones trying to tackle him, just standing there. Amazing run from Inglis. And Fiji have possession inside the final 3 now. You get another hit up for Sivanasiva. We're not far away from the final 1. Tariq Sims. Well, maybe Petro can't have a try, but maybe he will get the last carry of the match. And it's across to Groom for Fiji on the last tackle. They're really deep. They're almost back on their own goal line. Nagama, intercept, sends it inside. Parker comes up with it. Parker's offloaded to Gallen. Gallen, now it's time to make the ball sing. On for Papali. And held by Stora. 2 to go. 58-0. Gallen to the left. And Parker. Cherry Evans, switch of play at the ruck. Everyone's putting on defend. Crocs away this time. Boyd on the inside run, good defence. Stora, or rather the halfback, Groom got across there to make the tackle. Smith, try and stop Fafita. Bounces off the upright and scores. Andrew Fafita. Unstoppable to score the try there. They top 60.
4 Fijian players spread-eagled all over the park. They've tackled themselves to a standstill. And once they bring the ball into the middle of the field, a straight run from Fafita from 15 out. I reckon he knew he was going to score as soon as he got the football. He was running that hard. Lovely play. One way, then the other. Not the first try we've seen Cameron Smith offer on the inside. One to Hayne just a minute ago. Now Fafita. What's he got written on that mouth guard there?
Well, I got a feeling the way he pointed to the crowd, we've told you through the World Cup that he's actually on his honeymoon. He got married the day before he went into camp with the Kangaroos to Nikita, and I got to think that the way he saluted to the stand, that perhaps his new wife is now here, because he was excited the first time he scored a try, but that was like a signal to home. But this time I think he was pointing out the family and the fans in the stands here.
Let's take nothing away from the Fiji effort this afternoon as well, fellas. You know, they've came out here, they've worked hard for each other. The effort's been there, but they've just given themselves far too much to do. It was always going to be an upward battle for them. You know, they probably could have given a better account of themselves on occasions, but they said they've just given themselves too much to do.
And you know, I love the stats. Told you when Thurston scored the first try. Last time they played in a World Cup semi, how many points? 24 points. He's just landed another goal for 24 points. He's now scored 10 goals and a try. Jonathan Thurston. Full-time siren has sounded here. It is all over. And if I may, I know it's the moment for Australia that they advance to the final, but to that man on screen, what a servant to rugby league, what an ambassador, and what a player. The farewell to the great career of Petro Civoniceva. Australia defeat Fiji in the second semi-final, 64 points to nil, 11 tries and 10 goals, and so it is that Australia will play New Zealand in the final at the 2013 Rugby League World Cup.